So with inflation on the rise nowadays, a lot of interest rates out there when it comes to high yield savings accounts or even certificates of deposits have sadly gone down. They're not what they used to be last year, sadly. So now in order to make up for this, you have to find where are the good places to put our money at so that way we can earn more money. Now when it comes to high yield savings accounts at the time of this recording, what I found is that Ally, Capital One, and even Amex have a 3.6 APY when it comes to their savings accounts, which I guess seems to be the industry standard nowadays. Now there are a few other high yield savings accounts you guys can get out there like SoFi that are actually giving you a 3.8% APY based on the money that you have in there, but that's not too significant to the 3.6 APY we just talked about. What if I told you guys can earn a 4.35% APY based on the money that you have in an account that can earn you a better return? Now this isn't necessarily a high yield savings account though. This is actually a certificate of deposit, aka a CD that Navy Federal Credit Union is offering you. At the time of this recording, Navy Federal actually has a 10-month special certificate that they're offering for a limited time that I think a lot of you guys should definitely take advantage of. In this video, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be going over their special certificate of deposit, and then I'll also touch on their other CDs that Navy Federal is also offering you guys. So if you guys want to see what all the hype is about on their 10-month special certificate, then make sure to watch this video all the way to the end so that way you, sir or man, do not miss out on any good financial information that can help you out. If you're already subscribed, then welcome back. But if you guys are new to my channel, my name is Ismael Sandiford, and you are now watching Just Money, where we talk about financial related topics such as personal and business credit, real estate, and other financial related topics. So if that's something you're into, then you're probably going to want to consider subscribing. But without further ado, let's get into today's video. So for those out there that don't know what a CD is, aka a certificate of deposit, is pretty much a savings account that pays you a fixed interest rate over a period of time. And you usually agree to keep your money in that certificate of deposit for a specific time frame, and then in return you earn a higher interest rate than what you would in a normal savings account. But normally whenever it comes to these type of accounts, if you choose to withdraw your funds before the end of the term, then you are going to be penalized and you are going to have to forfeit some or even all of your earnings that you earned. Now when it comes to these CDs, there are going to be certain CDs out there to where you can keep adding to it as you go, but at the same time too, there's also going to be some CDs out there to where once you lock in the amount you put in there, you cannot change it unless you get a whole nother CD. But a lot of people out there tend to get these accounts so that way they can save up for something they're trying to purchase later on down the road, which can actually be a good thing if they're trying to make a commitment to saving. Now Navy Federal Credit Union does have about 4 certificate of deposits that you guys can choose from, and depending on which one you guys choose, some are going to be better than others, I personally feel like. They have a 10-month special certificate that barely got released for a limited time at the beginning of this year, so that way they can incentivize people to keep their money in with them at this credit union. Navy Federal is always doing specials here and there when it comes to their certificates, so the last time they actually did a special with their certificate was over 2 years ago. The reason they released this 10-month special certificate at the beginning of this year is because the last certificate that they offered, most people were already coming to their maturity date, so what Navy Federal did was come up with another special so that way they can incentivize people to keep their money in the bank with them versus taking the money out. Because if they didn't come up with this new CD at the beginning of this year, the Navy Federal would have lost a lot of money due to the last special they had on the CD, because a lot of people already reached their maturity date, and if a lot of people reach that, then that would be a lot of people taking their money out. So now that you guys know a little bit about Navy Federal and their CDs, let's quickly go over the 3 regular CDs that they've always had, and then we'll go over their 10-month special certificate of deposit that's only for a limited time, which I personally think is the best one. So the first CD that we're going to be talking about is going to be called the standard certificate. The minimum deposit you need to put in this account in order to get started is going to be $1,000, and there is no cap to the amount that you guys can put in there at all. One thing I will say though about this certificate in particular is that you cannot add money later on down the road if you would like to. You can do that with the other certificates that Navy Federal is offering us, but with this certificate in particular, you won't be able to do that. Once you guys open up the certificate for the amount that you guys want to do, that is what you're going to be stuck with up until the term is over. Unless you guys choose to withdraw early and then just forfeit all the dividends that you guys literally earned. Now speaking of dividends, depending on what term you get and what kind of money you put in there will determine what you will receive back as far as APY goes. Now when it comes to the standard certificate, you guys can either do a short-term one or even a long-term one if that's something that you guys want to do. Like for example, if you guys want to do a short-term standard certificate for only 3 months with a minimum deposit of $1,000, then you would earn a 1.5% APY, which would then earn you $4 over the course of the next 3 months. Or if you were to put $1,000 in one of their long-term certificates for 7 years, which is the max term you guys can do with this particular certificate, you would earn a 3.5% APY, which is going to earn you a total of $272 over the course of the next 7 years. Now obviously, the more money you guys put in there, then the bigger return on investment you guys are going to be receiving. Now the highest APY that Navy Federal offers for the standard certificate is going to be a 4.05%, but you only get that amount if you get it for a loan term of 12 months and you're at least depositing $100,000. So hypothetically, if you guys were to get that term and then deposited $100,000 $50, then you would earn $4,050 over the course of the next 12 months. Now, the reason Navy Federal has the highest APY only for the 12-month term and not the other terms is because interest rates are always fluctuating and nobody really knows where we're going to be at next year. But the thing that's cool about Navy Federal and their certificates is that any dividends that you guys earn every single month, you guys can transfer it out to either your checking, savings, or you guys can even have it mailed to you in a check if you guys want. Just only be sure to take out what you have earned and not the minimum amount that you guys have put in. Otherwise, you're going to be penalized and you are going to be forfeiting the money that you earn, because at the end of the day, it is supposed to be locked up for a certain amount of time. And just so you guys know, the penalty fee is going to be the dividends that you guys earned over the course of 90 days if you guys are doing a certificate for a full year. So if you're barely in the second month and you already have a few dividends that you earn, but you decide to take out your principal out, then you will be forfeiting all of those dividends that you earned. So for example, if you only have the certificate for only 40 days, then you are going to be penalized for those whole entire 40 days. But if you've had your certificate for over 200 days and you decide to take out the money, then you're only going to be penalized for 90 days as far as dividends go. And just so you guys know, these dividends do get paid out to you on the last business day of every single month. And then at the start of the new month, the new calculation will begin for what the dividends are going to pay out for the next month. But anyways, let's talk about the next certificate now, which is going to be called the Easy Start certificate. Now, the good thing about this certificate is instead of depositing $1,000, you can do as low as $50, which is pretty good for someone who's just trying to get their feet wet. And then what's also good about this certificate is that you guys can keep adding money as you guys please with no cap to the amount that you guys put in there. The last certificate we just talked about, which is called the Standard certificate, once you guys put money in there, you wouldn't be able to add anything more in there unless you guys got like a whole nother CD. But the thing about this Easy Start certificate is that you're allowed to get multiple of these with no cap to the amount, unlike the next two certificates that we're getting ready to talk about in a bit. Now, the APY that you get on this Easy Start certificate does depend on the term you get, and the terms that they offer are either going to be a 12-month term, 18-month term, or even a 24-month term. The thing that's kind of weird though about this certificate is the lower term you guys have, then the higher APY is going to be. The reason why Navy Federal does this though is because, again, we don't know what the interest rates are going to be next year, so they're just kind of playing it by ear. And one thing that I do want to let you guys know when it comes to the certificates that Navy Federal is offering us that you can actually add money onto, the interest does occur daily. So what this now means is as soon as you guys deposit more money, then you're immediately going to be earning more money. Now, once your term is over or about to be over, you guys do have a few options that you guys can do once your maturity date is here or is about to come up. If your term is over or about to be over and you don't place any instructions on what you want to do with it after, then it's just going to roll over to the same CD that you guys had along with the same term. The only thing that is going to be different though is going to be the interest rate if it's higher or lower at the time being. Now, you do have up until 21 days after your term is over to make any changes if you guys want to, but after those 21 days pass, then your certificate is going to lock in for a whole nother term if no instructions are placed. And then as far as instructions go, like I said, you guys can keep the same one if you guys want to, roll it into another CD if you guys want to, or just simply take your money back. Now, the next certificate we're going to be talking about is called the Special Easy Start certificate. Just like the last certificate we talked about, you can keep adding money to it anytime you guys want to, and the minimum deposit is $50, but you cannot exceed a $3,000 amount on this certificate. The last certificate we just talked about, which was the Easy Start certificate, you can keep putting money in there and there wasn't a cap to the amount you had in there. But with this Special Easy Start certificate, you can only do a maximum of $3,000 in there. Now, the APY on this Special Easy Start certificate is going to be higher than the last certificate we just talked about, which is going to be a 4.3% APY. Now, the thing that's different about this certificate is that they're only letting you do it for a 12-month term, and you're only allowed to have one of these certificates. You cannot have multiple. And you also have to have a checking account that has a direct deposit in order to have this account, because if you don't, then you won't be eligible for it. And also, really quick, if you guys are finding any of this information helpful, if you guys could do me a favor and hit the like button, I would truly appreciate it, because it really helps me out a lot, and then it's also a dope way to help support the channel. But anyways, now let's talk about the 10-month special certificate that Navy Federal is offering us only for a limited time. So this certificate is going to be called the 10-month special certificate that Navy Federal released at the beginning of 2025. Now, this is going to be the best certificate that Navy Federal is absolutely going to offer you, because the thing about this certificate is that not only does it have the highest APY compared to all of the other certificates we talked about, which is a 4.35% APY, but the good thing about this certificate is that the minimum is only $50 in order to start it, and you can actually add all the way up to $250,000 with this particular certificate while still earning a 4.35% APY. So in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, this is arguably better than most high yield savings accounts out there, at least at the time of this recording. Now, the downside to this is that it's only going to be for 10 months, so I would definitely take advantage of it while it's still hot right now. So if you guys are looking to save money money while earning interest on the money that you guys are saving with no risk at all, then I definitely would start looking into their 10-month special certificate. And like I said earlier, whatever dividends that you guys earn every month, you guys can take out immediately and use it for whatever you want to use it for, as long as you guys don't touch the principal. Because if you do touch the principal, then you are going to be penalized. And again, these dividends do get paid out to you on the last business day of every single month. Now, we're not sure if Navy Federal is still going to have this special certificate after this year is over. They could possibly renew it based on what I've been hearing, but nothing's really set in stone. So just take advantage of this certificate while it's still here. But that's going to wrap it up for today's video, guys. I hope you guys found value in any of this information as always. If you guys have derogatory items on your credit report, like late payments, charge-offs, collections, bankruptcies, or whatever it is, and you've been working with somebody who couldn't get those items off for you, send an email to my business email, justmoneyish@gmail.com, saying credit repair, because I have an amazing credit repair person that I personally work with that can definitely help a lot of you guys out there. And also really quick, if you guys are looking to get funding for your business, like anywhere from $50,000 all the way up to $150,000 plus in capital, so that way you guys can actually scale and grow your business, send an email to my business email saying funding, and I'll speak with you guys there. But if you guys made it to the end of the video, then I truly do appreciate you guys. We're at 74,820 subscribers at the time of this recording, so I do appreciate all who watch. I do post weekly videos for those that don't know, but if you guys haven't yet already, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't yet already, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that way you guys get notified every time Ish post a new video. And again, we talk about personal and business credit, real estate, and other financial related topics, so if that's something you're into, then you're probably going to want to consider subscribing. We talk about how to get high limits on your credit cards, how to boost your personal credit, how to obtain business credit. We talk about real estate, we talk about mortgage loan programs, we talk about all that. So this is your one-stop shop. And also really quick, for those out there that do not know, I am a licensed real estate agent and a licensed mortgage loan originator. So if you're trying to sell or purchase a home and you guys are in Southern California, then all my information will always be in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.